Welcome back to the deep dive. We love digging into fascinating articles and research papers, and today's one really speaks to the learner in all of us.
Oh,
Tell me more. Well, it's about that feeling of being lost when trying to solve a coding problem.
lost. Like completely lost.
Yeah, exactly. But what if I told you that feeling isn't a failure?
Okay, I'm listening.
It could actually be a sign that you're learning.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the idea from this Algo Academy blog post we're diving into.
What's it called?
It's called Why Feeling Lost in a Coding Problem is Actually a Good Thing.
I like it already.
Right. It's all about reframing that negative feeling.
Into a positive.
Exactly. Into a powerful tool for growth, especially for those learner types.
Makes sense, yeah. Reframing is powerful.
Absolutely. So the article starts by talking about the learning zone.
The what zone?
The learning zone. It's this idea that real learning happens when you push past your comfort zone.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
that sweet spot where you're challenged but not overwhelmed.
Yeah, where you're stretching, but not like snapping.
Exactly. So how do you think this learning zone connects to feeling lost?
Well, I guess if you're truly pushing yourself, you're going to run into stuff you don't know.
That's the idea. The article says feeling lost is a signal you've entered the learning zone.
Because you've hit a wall, knowledge-wise.
Yeah. You realize you don't have all the answers and you have to grapple with it.
That can be frustrating, I bet.
It can be. But the article dives into 5 benefits you get from embracing that lost feeling.
5. Okay, I'm ready.
The first one is deep learning. Struggling with a problem makes you engage with the concepts more deeply.
So like, instead of surface level, you got to go deep.
Exactly. It forces you to understand the why behind the what.
This reminds me of when I first learned about recursion.
Oh, yeah.
I was so lost, like drowning in functions.
I can imagine.
But once I forced myself to really break it down step by step, it clicked.
That's it. Feeling lost led to that deep understanding.
And I never forgot it after that either.
Exactly. And the article even uses a classic coding problem to show this,
Which one?
reversing a linked list.
Ooh, that's a good one. Classic interview question, too.
It is. And it's not easy. For a learner, though, it'd be a great challenge, right?
Absolutely. It's not just rote memorization. You got to really understand it.
And that deep understanding will help so much later on.
When you hit variations on the same theme.
Exactly. It's like building a mental model you can apply elsewhere.
Instead of just, oh, I memorized these steps.
Right. You're thinking critically and creatively.
Which brings us to benefits 2 and 3, I bet.
You got it. Problem-solving skills and creativity.
Okay, those are huge. How are they tied to feeling lost?
Well, think about it. Navigating confusion makes you think outside the box, right?
You got to come up with new approaches.
Exactly. And the article even mentions some famous examples.
Like who?
Tony Hoare, who created Quicksort, and Linus Torvalds, the guy behind Linux and Git.
No way!
Yeah.
You're saying those innovations came from being lost?
That's what the article suggests. Like, imagine Linus, baffled by version control, right?
And instead of giving up, he pushes through, and boom, Git is born.
I know, right? It's amazing. Makes you wonder how many more ideas are out there.
Just waiting for someone to get lost enough to find them.
It's almost like feeling lost is a prerequisite for real innovation.
Because you have to question everything, try new things.
You got to push those boundaries. It's like those aha moments. They're so satisfying after a struggle.
Oh, absolutely. It's the struggle that makes the victory sweet.
And that feeling fuels you to take on even bigger challenges.
So that brings us to benefit number 4, I'm guessing.
You know it. Resilience and persistence.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If you can overcome feeling lost, you get tougher.
Exactly. Especially for a learner who might get discouraged easily at first.
Overcoming that builds confidence, for sure.
It's like a mental muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets.
And it spills over into other areas of life, too.
For sure. It's not just about coding, it's a life skill.
All right, so what's the 5th benefit? Got to be a good one.
It's perfect for our learner listeners. Independent learning.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, being lost forces you to research better, dig deeper, really own your learning.
Instead of just being spoon-fed information.
Exactly. It's about actively seeking out the knowledge.
That's huge. Especially in today's world, things change so fast.
You got to be able to learn how to learn.
It's like having the map and compass, not just being told where to go.
Exactly. So we've established that being lost can be good, but how do we actually do it?
Yeah, how do we not just drown in the confusion?
Well, the Algo Academy blog post gives some great advice on that. And you know what?
What?
We're going to dive right in. No breaks this time.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready to hear these strategies.
All right, so we've talked about how feeling lost can actually be good for us, but how do we actually put this into practice?
Well, the article offers some practical strategies for handling that feeling.
So we don't just sit there and panic.
No, no panicking. The first one might sound a bit strange, though.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It says to embrace the discomfort.
Wait, so like lean into feeling clueless.
Exactly. Don't resist it. Don't feel bad about it.
Like, hey, confusion, nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's a sign that you're actually pushing yourself and learning.
Especially for learners, they might want to retreat, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is where the growth happens.
So, okay, we've acknowledged the discomfort. Now what?
Well, the next step is to break down those big problems.
Ah, the classic divide and conquer.
That's it. Remember that linked list reversal problem?
So when we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Instead of trying to solve it all at once, break it down.
So like understand the structure, then the steps, one by one.
Exactly. Learners love understanding each piece thoroughly, so this helps.
I can see that. Less overwhelming when it's smaller chunks.
Right. Each little victory gives you momentum and confidence.
So embrace the discomfort, break things down. What else?
Then the article talks about pseudocode.
Oh yeah, I remember when I first learned about pseudocode. Game changer.
It really is. It's like a blueprint, but for your code.
You write out the logic in plain English before the actual coding.
Exactly. Helps clarify your thinking, spot any problems early on.
And for a learner who loves to understand the why, this is huge.
It is. Writing it out makes you really think it through.
Okay, this next one is one of my faves. It's a bit quirky, though.
Lay it on me.
It's called rubber duck debugging.
Ah, yes. The classic rubber ducky.
So you explain your problem out loud as if to this duck.
Or any inanimate object, really.
It's about articulating your thought process clearly.
Sometimes just saying it out loud makes you realize the flaw.
It's like teaching it to someone else, even if they don't understand.
Learners would love this, putting their knowledge to the test.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've embraced, broken down, talked to the duck.
What else could we possibly do?
Well, this one is super important, but easy to forget.
Okay, let's hear it.
Take breaks.
Oh, tell me about it. I get so focused I forget to step away.
It's so easy to do, especially when you're in that learning zone, right?
Deeply engaged, lost in the problem. But sometimes you need to step back.
Let your brain work on it in the background.
I can't tell you how many times the solution hits me while doing something else.
It's like magic. A walk, some music, suddenly, boom.
Your brain needs that time to process, make connections.
Stepping away gives you fresh eyes, especially for detail-oriented learners.
Helps them see the forest for the trees, you know?
Exactly. So don't be a hero. Take those breaks. They're crucial.
All right, so we've embraced, broken down, talked to the duck, rested. Anything else?
There is one more, and it can be a tough one, especially for learners.
Okay, I'm ready. What is it?
It's seeking help strategically. Seeking help. It can almost feel like giving up.
It can, I know, especially for learners who pride themselves on figuring things out on their own.
Yeah, it's like admitting defeat or something.
But even the best programmers ask for help sometimes.
Really? You'd think they'd have it all figured out.
It's not about having all the answers, it's about knowing where to find them.
So how do we ask for help the right way? You know, not just cheat.
That's the key. It's about turning it into a learning experience.
Not just a quick fix.
Right. If you've been stuck for a while, tried everything, then it's okay to reach out.
But don't just copy-paste solutions from Stack Overflow.
No, that's not helping you learn. It's just a Band-Aid.
So what? Ask questions. Dig deeper into the solution.
Exactly. Understand the why, not just the what. Try to apply it to other problems.
Use it as a starting point, not the finish line.
That's it. And remember, there are so many resources out there.
Like what kind of resources?
Documentation, online communities, mentors, even a friend who knows more than you.
For learners that love knowledge, this is great.
It is. It's about tapping into that collective wisdom.
And the article mentions platforms like Algo Academy can be really helpful too.
Oh, absolutely. They create that safe space where feeling lost is normal.
It's like expected, even encouraged.
Exactly. They have structured learning, feedback. It's like having a guide.
No shame in getting a little help along the way.
Right. It gives you the confidence to keep pushing, keep learning.
So the next time you're staring at your screen, totally lost, remember.
That feeling is not the end. It's just the beginning.
Embrace it. Break it down. Talk to your rubber duck. Take a break and ask for help.
And remember, it's the whole process, the struggle, the seeking, that makes you a better learner.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Absolutely. And that journey, with all its twists and turns, That's where the real learning is.
Okay, listeners, here's something to think about, outside of coding even.
Ooh, I like this.
Think of a time you felt lost, learning something new, a language, an instrument, anything.
Anything that pushed you out of your comfort zone.
How did you handle it? What did you learn from that experience?
And how did it change you as a learner?
Take that memory, embrace that lost feeling, see it as a stepping stone.
Not a roadblock.
That's where the real growth happens. That's where you discover your potential.
As a learner, as a coder, as a human being.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So until next time, happy coding.
Happy learning, everyone. See you on our next deep dive.